We're
Oh
trying
my
to.
my.
Good to be
So
here,
see
sir.
who we've got here. We have amazing mentor coach, clarity coach. His name is David Babale, and then I'm going to give him the floor now to teach, explain to us some of the things we need to understand. But I want to say a big thank you for Happy Harrison joining this conversation, for Mr. Victor Aruna joining this conversation. I want to say a big thank you, Varma, thank you for joining. So I'm trying to check names now. Jennifer, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining this conversation. Okay, so we need to move on because of our time. Okay, so over to you. I think you should tell us about yourself, and then
Good.
you tell us what you have for us today.
Amazing. It's good to be here. I just want to be sure everybody can hear me, just like as I'm hearing the boss, the digital entrepreneur. Thank you so much for having us here, sir. We're really grateful for such an opportunity to speak to, to the audience here. I'm sure that it's going to be worth your while. One of the things I said to the people while I was talking to this thing earlier on, I said to them, it is something that would definitely cause a shift. One of the things I'm sure is that after the series of this call from this time till 7 p.m., one thing you can be guaranteed of is that it's going to be a shift. It's good. And I'm also sure we've not spoken, the four of us have not spoken as regards to what we want to say. But if you're taking notes, I want you to be able to just take notes. You would find out that there is going to be some form of synergy within all of the things we would be saying. Definitely. It's not because we sat down and decided that this is what we are going to say, but because we are kindred spirits, so that's why I'm excited to be here. I'm glad to forerun my brothers, Ape Harrison and Elisha Maman. Amazing guys. Thank you so much, Samson, for bringing us here. We actually jokingly all call Samson our mentor, because...
Oh, no, I'm your boy. Come on.
So like he said earlier on, the things I do, but there's one thing I'm particularly interested in is to see society filled with passionately purposeful people. That's the reason I'm on this call. I just got out of a meeting, and then straight up on this call. And then after this, again, we have a couple of other meetings to join up, before the day winds down. So all in a bid to see society filled with passionately purposeful people. I like to be carefully called the Clarity King. And in a short while, you would understand why I like that. I believe that I bring clarity to people, processes, and plans. So whether it's a process, whether it's a plan, whether it's a person, I believe that I bring clarity to those things. And over time, God's been faithful to us. We've done that on, several counts and on several platforms, and it's been amazing. So this afternoon or evening, I would just be speaking something very loosely. It's quite a short time we have here, and for people like us who speak also for a living very regularly.
Yeah.
So we'll try to just give an abridged version of stuff we're doing. But we cannot be unmindful of the times that we're in already, and I'm sure nobody is unmindful of the times. All right, whether we like it actively or passively, the times have changed everything that we are doing. But you see, I like to backtrack. I like to backtrack a bit to say to us that the truth is that we have always lived with uncertainty. So we've always lived with uncertainty. If it was not COVID-19, something else was already going to have posed in some level of uncertainty. Like we have been, like we popularly have been, like it's popularly been said. All right, it says that the only thing that is constant in life is change. And let me say something to you. If you're somebody who is looking for certainty in life, you will not find. There's only one thing that is certain, that all of us are certain about. And I can tell you what that is death. Death is the only thing that is certain on this side of eternity. So the point is, what we have to do is not to be able to eliminate uncertainty, just like COVID-19 has got into us. We are not supposed to eliminate uncertainty. I think that is going to be an exercise in futility. All right. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is not something to eliminate uncertainty, but rather a strategy to beat uncertainty at every curve. I believe we can contain uncertainty. We may not be able to put certainty together on this side of eternity, because it is one of the things that make life fun. It's what brings the variety of life. All right. So if, for instance, you're wondering, oh, COVID-19 brought uncertainties to us, I'd like to say something to you about the 21st century. If you've been a keen observer of 21st century like I have, one of the things you would find out is uncertainties just went up to a rocket high. If you remember, if you're old enough to remember Y2K, remember the millennium bug, we were trying to come into the 21st century, and there was the whole noise about the Y2K, the millennium bug, and all of that. That for me, if we go by the law of first mention, that for me was just an indicator of what we should expect in the century. Because you see, from the initial point of this century, there was uncertainty. It came with a loud bang, and it was global. If you remember, we were afraid that the millennium bug was going to do something to computers, and at the end of the day, a whole lot of things would be disrupted. So that was how we came into this century. And if you look at the whole of the things that have happened to us within the century, it's been from one major uncertainty to another one, to another one, to another one. Just even if we just take a sample, for an instance, we take health and pandemics or epidemics. All right. If you just take it between 2000 and dates, just in 20 years into this decade, we have had very life-altering, epidemics or pandemics right now that we're having right now. They've brought in several uncertainties. If you remember Ebola, if you remember SARS, if you remember MERS, if you remember, there's so many of those things that have been happening since we came into this. So you see, uncertainty is in a characteristic part of our lives. And so what that does is that because of that uncertainty right now, anybody who seems to have some level of sense to be able to have it together, everybody wants to be like him or her. Are you following me? So right now, what has happened is uncertainties are forcing us into similarities. That's what it is. The uncertainties of the times right now are setting us up for similarities. So in the sense that we were all supposed to be unique individuals, but uncertainty right now is putting us in a fight. I call it a fight. It's putting us into a fight. That's why you find out that in a surplus society, because one of the things is we are living in a surplus society. And you know what? There are surplus of similar companies employing similar people, doing with similar educational backgrounds, working similar jobs, coming up with similar products, similar prices, and similar qualities. But do you know that there is none of us, there are no two human beings on the earth that are the same?
Yeah, I agree.
There are not two of us. There are not two of us. Even if you bring somebody else who is another clarity coach, or you bring somebody else who is a digital entrepreneur, you would find out that they are distinctives. So that even if we were Siamese twins, you would find out that we still prefer two different things. I remember the story of two Iranian girls, all right, Leila and Ladin. They were co-joined in the head together, and they lived for 29 years. So when they got to 29 years, they decided that they were going to opt in for a surgery to be able to separate them. And everybody counseled them and said, you guys don't do this. It's fatal. It's something that it's a near-death experience. But those girls said no, they would go ahead with it. And you know why? Because Leila, one of the twins, she liked computers. She was interested in computer science and computer-related things. While Ladin, her other sister, was interested in law and wanted to go on to be a lawyer. All right? But they were co-joined in the head. All right? So they decided that, you know what? We want the surgery. And on their indemnity form, they wrote something that was very critical. And that's one of the things that I wanted that touches me the most every time I remember their story. one of the things that they said very critically on their indemnity form was they rather die as individuals than to live without an identity. Are you getting what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Those ladies had enough sense in death than some people would have in a lifetime. They said they would rather die as individuals than to live without an identity. You see, I see a lot of people, because of the uncertainties of our time, they are trying to live like some other people else. They are trying to solve life's issues or deal with uncertainties from the point of what the general people are doing. So right now, what's happening with some people is they are waiting to see what some other people are doing with regard to, you know, handling uncertainties. All right. Good. And then they would now respond. You know, some people are waiting to see what the decision makers will do and say, oh, tell us the direction we are going to go. But you see, we were not designed to live like that. We were designed to be unique. We have similar, there is a surplus society. God has made it in such a way that there is surplus. Why is it that because of uncertainties right now, we just want to cage ourselves? We want to be able to bring ourselves to be living like somebody else. It's a lie. You see, so I would be sharing with you a strategy in the next few minutes. All right, I'll try to condense it. A strategy to be able to win this fight. Remember, our fight is not against COVID-19 or the other uncertainties that will jump up. They are not. COVID-19 is just because it's novel. All right, that's the reason why. And it's thrown up a new level of uncertainty. But you know what? If COVID-19 goes, every one of us will still deal with some level of uncertainty. All right. Correct. So my assistant, we were coming back from a meeting today, and then my assistant was talking with his fiancée over the phone, and they were wondering, hey, do we talk about when is our wedding date? Because there's their wedding, you know, and they are going back and forth. You see, that is not a COVID-19 induced uncertainty. It is right now that this is their own personal uncertainty they are dealing with. So let people not go around blaming COVID-19. It's just a strand of uncertainty, because this was an uncertainty dealing with a lot of us. But because of this uncertainty, it's not a guarantee for us to sit down now and say, hey, let's do similar things. You see, right now what's happening, industries are sitting down and saying, how are we doing? How is this thing affecting us? Yes, how is this thing affecting us as an industry? But you know what? Can I say something to somebody? It's good what the industries are doing. All right? But you know what? I want you as an individual to be able to have those strategy sessions. You know what? Strategy is a military word. It's a military word. And I understand that very well because I've had a little stint in the military, you know, growing up. All right? I can see some of my brothers in arms, you know, on the call already. But you see, one of the things we learned is that you must have a strategy for every battle. So most of the times we spend so much time in preparing for those in strategy than even the actual simulation of the event. So that's the same thing I'm saying to you. But because it seems like strategy is something that people will just relegate to the background, all right? But I'm saying to everyone that is to me on this call, there is a strategy I want to give to you right now to beat uncertainty. There is only one thing that continually and constantly puts uncertainty and handcuffs it together. Is clarity. I will be sharing with you what I have coined out as clarity strategy. All right, don't forget, strategy is a military word. I have to get out what the meaning is. It's a plan of action to achieve a long-term or overall aim. All right, a strategy is a plan of action to achieve a long-term objective or an overall aim. So it means that what I'm going to be sharing with you is a strategy that you can use to beat uncertainty, not just in COVID or post-COVID, but you can use it for the rest of your life. In fact, bro, one of the things I do is that I spend my life trying to get people to understand because I know uncertainties will be there. So I've committed my life into helping people find and appropriate these strategies in their life. I see you want to say something, sir.
So I think I should just make it hold on because I think that some people are getting in here. They are used to the way we do this. So this is not
Yeah.
a conversation. This is a teaching. So if you're just getting in here, don't forget that I told you guys on my page. And for those who are on my community, I've told us that we are sitting in here for the next 3 hours from 4 to 7. We are coming to learn. You should have a note and you're jotting. I'm not asking any, it's not a gisting conversation. It's you learning what you need to do, how you need to think in times like this. Paradigm shift is what we're looking at. So if you think I'm going to be asking David Babale some question about his life or whatever, don't worry. You will have another session to do that. But what is doing currently now, because we are in post-COVID-19, so many things are happening. People are strategizing. People are thinking. So how do you think in a new normal? How do you make things happen for you? How do you ensure that you are thinking and you are not sinking? Because some people are already sinking, some people are already tired, some people are confused. But how can you take over and have a clarity, thinking positively, planning positively to achieve everything you have said from the beginning of this year that you want to achieve? It's just 5 months, you still have 7 months. So what must you do to ensure that the 7 months counts more, even like 12 months for you to achieve so much? So if you're just joining this conversation, I am just here to get our speaker to teach us and help us understand. And he's going to be focusing clearly now, going forward now, on clarity strategy. By 5 p.m., Ape is going to be in here talking about business, thinking of now. And by 6 o'clock, Elisha will be here talking to us about how to generate wealth in times like think. How do you think wealth? And how do you achieve so much for yourself? So over to you. For everyone who has joined this conversation, I want to say a big thank you. Don't forget that one of the things you can do for yourself is for you to follow David Babale on IG. And then if you think this, if you think that I can also help you navigate in times like this, then you can follow at Sam Speaks Now. So over to you. I'm trying to time you because I know that for 60 minutes is not enough, but I know that once it's 45 minutes, Instagram is likely to take us off. So once I give you a signal, we'll switch to questions. So over to you. Clarity strategy for us to implement.
Okay, good. So let me say this to you. All right. I said, let me just recap. Thank you so much, bro, again for that. So let me just recap on the benefit of those who are just coming in. All right. So I'm saying that what we're saying is everything, just don't look at COVID-19 as anything special. Just look at it as an uncertainty. It's had brothers already from time. And I took us back to say that for as long as the 21st century is, that's what it is. We've been immersed in that, in a series of changes that have occurred and have changed us seriously. And I said one of the things I found out is with uncertainty, we try to be similar. So instead of us to be unique, uncertainty is beating all of us into a mold. And you know what? I know for a certain that that's not the original design. We're all designed to be individual, not a crowd, not a head, not a statistic. All right, we're all designed to be individuals. That's why no matter how two of us are, and I gave the story of the two Kodron twins, the twins. All right, they said something. They said, "I would rather die. We would rather die with an identity than to live without an identity." So can that be somebody's mantra today? To say to yourself, "I would rather die with an identity than to live without an identity." All right, like an individual. All right. So the point remains, and that's the point. So I'm saying to you to be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best daily, night and day, to make every one of us, all right, into something else but ourselves. I'm sure you know that that's the fight we are fighting. Every day you come on Instagram, somebody is doing something, you see some other people are doing something, and you want to abandon what you are doing, or you go online around, you are seeing somebody doing something and you want to jump on the bandwagon to do what the person is doing, and you're wondering, oh God, this guy is getting it more than me. And then because of the likes, the shares, and all of those things, you want to abandon your own thing and go for what somebody is. So that's the fight we are fighting every day. every day every one of us is confronted with being somebody else other than ourselves. You know what? If you are you want to understand that this is the hardest fight, to be nobody but yourself. All right. And if you're fighting this fight, please, I'm here to say to you, don't stop fighting. Don't stop fighting. You can look around and try to be similar with somebody, but you see, the best you would be is a photocopy. And I want to share with you in the next few minutes what I call the clarity strategy to help you in your fight. You see what, bro? It's helped me. It's helped so many people I've worked with. I'm telling you, it's a strategy that is fail-proof. I like to call it fail-proof because it is. It's called the clarity strategy. Strategy is what is a plan of action, all right? And the strategy is built around 4 transformations. So if you're making notes, or somebody can help us make notes, all right?
We are good. We are good.
Good. If you're making notes, it's built around 4 transformations. So it's a strategy that is built around 4 transformations. One, the first strategy is the first transformation of the strategy, or the first part of the strategy is definition. That's the first transformation. The second transformation is simplification. That's the second transformation. The third transformation is the transformation of execution. And the fourth transformation is the transformation of amplification. All right? So we have transformation, the transformation of definition, simplification, execution, and amplification. Guys, if you are able to come to terms with these 4 strategies, or with these 4 transformations, that's what I call the clarity strategy. If you are able to put this thing into perspective, I can assure you that uncertainty will be coming and you will not know it. One of my role models will say it this way. They asked him after he turned 40 years in doing what, or 30 years in doing what he said, and then they asked him, they said, tell us something that the challenges that you've had. You know what he said to them? He said to them, I cannot remember any. Maybe they came and I did not know. You know what he was talking about? He was talking about the fact that he had implemented some of these strategies. One of the things is that if you notice any consistent high flyer, somebody who has been in and out of season, one of the things you would find out is that these 4 transformations are actively at work in their lives. All right? And that's the first transformation, is the transformation of definition. Let me say a few things about it. When we speak about definition, I don't just mean your name. I don't mean your title. I don't mean your role. I don't mean your biodata. All right? I'm not mean, see, because all of those things, you acquired them. All right? I'm not talking about your possession. You acquired those things. If you call your name today and you say your name, or you like me, you say your name is David, somebody gave you the name.
Yes,
all right? If you say, oh, I am the CEO, somebody made you CEO, or certain circumstances made you CEO. All right? Or if you say, I am Mr. or I am a husband today, that's my definition. I'm saying to you that the truth is that that's not your definition. It was acquired. But you see, one of the things that this definition is made from is stemming from the knowledge that you are not a creature of chance. All right? You were carefully thought out. So one of the things I tell people in working this definition is, it's not just to say who I am, who am I? You know how they say, who am I? No. So some people have said what they do is who they are. And I said, it's not. You are not what you do. You are not what you do. Can I say that again? So whether you're a pastor, you're a musician, or you're a politician, or whatever it is, you are not what you do. I am not a coach. All right? I am not a coach. Coaching is what I do. I am not a speaker. Speaking is what I do. I am not a consultant. Consulting is what I do. Who I am is more definite than that. So if you take away coaching from me, take away speaking from me, take away consulting from me, take away being a husband, take away everything from me, I will still be me.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is. When you are stripped down to nothing, when you are stripped down to nothing, who are you? That's your definition. When they've taken everything away from you, all right, like Viktor Frankl will say, he says, when they've taken away your last of human freedoms and they leave you all by yourself, who are you? They strip you of every name, everything. Who are you? That's your definition. See, so what I do with people, or what I work with people to do, is to be able to, in definite terms, not just okay, I am so rich, I am the redeemed of the Lord. I said, who is not? Those are generic. All right, you cannot win uncertainty with generic statistics. It must be so personal, bro. Let me tell you the truth. Let me give you guys, for instance. So we've been married with my wife for, and this is a bit personal for me. All right, we've been married with my wife for about 9 years right now, right? And we're still expecting our children. But can I say to you that it's not been a cause of concern for one day. What am I saying? For an hour, or for 10 minutes, or even 2 minutes. It's not been an issue, a subject of discussion or consideration. Hey, what is wrong with us? Or what is this? I don't know. It's not. Is that not an uncertainty? Nothing is wrong with us medically, which is checked. All right. So is that not an uncertainty? But you see, it's not being able to do that because we are defined. Well, for instance, my wife, her definition is very clear. All she does, people say she's an etiquette coach. Take away etiquette from her, she's still who she is. She multiplies beautiful personalities and inspirational role models in society. That's who she is. That's what is her predominant focus. So her focus is not, are the children coming? Am I a mother? What is this? Those things are good, and we like them, right? And we would have them, all right? We already know their name, all right? But you see, the point is, we would not let uncertainty because of definition. We are too focused. We are too focused on who we are. For me, all I'm concerned about is how to see society filled with passionately purposeful people by helping people find, refine, live, and grow their unique form of greatness. That's all that's on my mind. So whether children come or whether they don't come, whether I make money or I don't make money, whether they call my name or I don't, or whether the vice president or the president calls me and gives me a laurel, it doesn't change who I am. If you give me, when I become the governor of my state, for instance, it will not change who I am. It will not change who I am, because that's not who I am. That's the first transformation that every one of us must go through if you must beat uncertainty. I just told you how we did with my wife. All right? It's not because it's not because we are spiritual people. All right? I've seen people who just waited for 6 months.
I'm trying to time you because you have 10 minutes more because of our timing. So I'd like you to touch on the second, third, and fourth because you're moving.
If we cannot say, since they know it, if we can't touch it, there's no point. So let's stay on what could work. Okay. And then anybody who wants any further conversations, we can talk about it. It's something that I'm with you. I think so. All right, good. So you see, the point is your definition is critical. All right, because once your definition, I call in my coaching program, that's what we call the core clarity program. I say it's the core. If you're making notes, you can make a circle, a series of concentrics. Maybe make 2-3 concentrics, and then in the middle of it is the core. So where we start from in coaching is we don't come from the outside. We start from the core. And definition is at the core, because definition gives meaning to everything else. So it is that definition that leads us to the transformation of simplification. What is the simple? What is the transformation of what is that? Is to be able to break you down, or to break who you are into its simplest form. All right. So if, for instance, right now, bro, the difference between me and you is not that you are a Yoruba guy. And I'm not. I'm from North. That's not the difference. Because if they tear us open, you've got blood, I've got blood.
Yes, sir. Correct.
All right. What makes us different? Why you are called a Yoruba person today, and I am called somebody from Jos by native origin, is because of the DNA I have received. Because you see, it's not blood that makes us different; it's DNA. It took the DNA of Joshua and Rhoda Babali to be able to make me.
Yes, sir.
Are you following what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and they took it from somebody else. All right. So the smallest unit of the individual is the DNA. So in simplification is being able to break down who you are to the barest minimum in such a way that you can transport it all across. Are you following me? So what we do is,
I'm here.
Good.
I'm loaded already.
In simplification, thank you, boss. In simplification, what we do is we take on who you are. All right. Please, can I use the human anatomy to be able to explain this closely, right?
So that we can flow.
Next one.
Go ahead.
Good. So you see the human body, all right, is the same blood that flows in my head, or they say blood doesn't enter the brain, but it's the same blood that flows to my legs, that flows to my head, that flows to my hands, the same blood. Is it not?
Yes,
you
sir.
see, it's the same material. There's no different blood that flows in my legs, different blood in my hands. There are different bloods everywhere. So the point for me, all right, is the blood. So what we want to do is this. This is what you do. You are saying, to simplify it, I have many organs in my body. It means that there are several parts to David Babale. My heart, I have a heart, I have a liver, I have kidney, I have lungs, I have pancreas, I have a brain, I have eyes, I have mouth. All of those things are powered by blood.
Yes, sir.
The blood is your definition. So in simplification, what we do is, or what the transformation is about, is being able to find a way that the blood, or your definition, flows to every part of who you are. So I say to people like this, I say to them, you know what? I don't take away my roles, take away my responsibilities. Say I shouldn't do something today. I will do something else, because I am not my roles. All right. So what I have done right now is I have several parts. So in simplification, I have a part. I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a cousin, I'm this, I'm that. So I have several roles, and life gives birth to us in several roles. You know what happens to people? This is what happens to them. When they get to one role, they shut down another role. So if they are active in business, you will find out that their marriage is suffering, or their friendships are suffering, or there are different people in different places. All right. Yes, by simplification, you make who you are the same in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I told a client of mine within the week, I said, you know what, including lovemaking, if you are able to simplify who you are, you take who you are into your lovemaking room if you are married. All right. Or it will even take you to, you are dealing with your children, who you are is going to be constant. Every one of us there. Are you following what I'm saying? You are not your role.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In simplification is breaking down or creating a connection between who you are and everything. Are you with me? So
yes,
that's
sir,
what you do. The moment you simplify, you activate what I call the automatic function mechanism. What does that mean? Every doing is automatic. Please quote me up on this. Every doing, execution is an automatic function. Let me say that again. Execution is an automatic function. Execution is an automatic function. It is not a function that people say, oh, let me teach you how to execute. If somebody needs to teach you how to execute, bro, it's not original to you. All right. Because let me give a simple illustration so that I just go. I know my time is racing against me, right? Sir. But if you have further discussions and things, these are things we break down. I work with people across months, but it's something I'll be willing to work with as many people who are interested. All right. But one of the things I say to people is execution is supposed to be automatic. Let's take the female gender, for instance. So I meet females and I ask them, why is it that you are able to bear child? Why is it that you are having a monthly flow? And then they go is, well, it's because I'm old. I said, I'm older than you in some instances. How come I've never seen a menstrual cycle, or I don't have a menstrual cycle? Then they say, it's because I am female. Then I said, you got the point. I said, it is because you are female that you can do the things that female do. Have you ever seen a woman who is healthy without any medical complications, that gets into a situation whereby she cannot have a menstrual cycle? We'll go and check her. The moment she comes, but did she have the menstrual cycle when she became of age? No. She had the menstrual cycle from before she was born. The day she was conceived female, that day, everything that is required to make her have a menstrual cycle came to her.
Yes, sir.
Are you following me? So she is, when we eventually see her at 13 or 14 having a menstrual cycle, that was not when she got the capacity to have a menstrual cycle. All right, she had the capacity of things. She had a menstrual cycle. It just took time to reveal to us who she was. So certain things that you are not doing is not necessarily because you cannot do it. It's totally because it may not just be time, but if it is something that is original to you, you will do it. So I had a meeting 3 months ago in Abuja, bro. I wanted to do an Abuja online, or like a clarity hangout in Abuja. I wanted to do that thing since 2018. I had it in mind that I was going to do. I had left Abuja in 2017, so I wanted to go back in 2018 to do it. But you know, as much as I tried, I couldn't just put things together. But I had a venue in mind I wanted to use for the meeting in Abuja. All right, I had a venue. I'd never been to the venue. That's how interesting this is. I'd never been to the venue. But you know what? It came to my mind that I was going to. Do you know what happened? So fast forward January 2020. One of my former clients in Abuja just called me and says, "Coach, I need you to come to Abuja. All right, and I need us to do this." I said, "Hey, can come if you are ready to host me. I'm not ready to spend my money to do an event for Abuja people because it will have to be free." And she says, "You know what? Don't worry about that." Then she says, "What, bro?" She says, "Let me go and get a venue." Then she comes back and she says, "This is the venue we've chosen, Ventures Park." That was the venue I had. I'd never been to Ventures Park all my years in Abuja. And she got us the Ventures Park. We hosted that event, and I did not use 1 naira. All of my friends that did not do that, some of my friends began to say, "You know what? I'm going to pay for your transportation. I'm going to pay for your fueling. I'm going to pay for your accommodation." All my bill was paid. I did that event stresslessly. In fact, the meals I ate within the period were provided for my friends. I did not ask anybody to do anything for me. Bro, it's because it is something, it is who I am. It happened automatically. Same thing happened in Makurdi. Same thing has been happening in every other places, because who you are calls to who you are. See, just by who you are makes execution easy for you. You must have heard about the law of attraction, guys. The truth is that the law of attraction is supposed to be working for you. It's supposed to attract to you everything, the material equivalent of who you are. You are not supposed to be chasing things. Goodness and mercy are not supposed to be following you. You are not supposed to be following them. Rather, they are supposed to be following you. So if you find yourself constantly chasing things down, go back to your definition and find out that you don't know who you are. Just like the female cannot say, "Hey, my menstrual cycle, blah 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 blah." It's not, you know what? Just as she can't struggle with it, that's the same way. On the final one, I can see my boss is giving me signal already. All right, all right.
Oh my
Good.
God!
So the final.
I know we can't do this for 60 minutes, but
Yes,
give me the final one.
I'm checking.
Yes.
All right, good. So just before I go to the final one, and I'm not going to say so much about the final one. All right, I want you to remember we are human beings and not human doings. Don't get caught up. If you want to beat uncertainty, you must understand that in execution, in the transformation of execution, you are a human being, not a human doing. All right, that's why if you, or you try to say, "Who are you?" I will never define myself by the things I do, because I am a human being, and who I am makes me being. All right, you are first who you are before what you do. Are you following me? So the final thing I want to say to us is amplification. All right, every one of us is supposed to extend ourselves beyond us. What it means is that we're all supposed to achieve self-perpetuity. It means I am supposed to be able to perpetuate myself beyond just impregnating somebody and having a seed. That you are idea. You as an individual is supposed to seamlessly extend yourself beyond yourself without coercing people, without forcing people to be able to expand your brand, all right, or expand who you are. The truth is, in the transformation of amplification, what happens here is that you seamlessly, just the way you have a child and transfer your DNA to it, all right, it's the same way you are supposed to have. You're supposed to come to a place that you can seamlessly extend yourself. All right. So in this transformation, what happens is we share. It entails things like how to be able to have seamless relationship All right.
1 second.
And in
Yeah,
talking about relationships, can I go into anatomy again? All right. And sorry if you're sensitive, I don't mind. But you see, the two organs, the male and the female organ, that's the perfect example of complementary, of being complementary. All right. The male organ gets its satisfaction when it comes in contact with the female organ. And you see, the female organ does not need to change itself to get satisfaction from the male organ. The male organ does not need to change itself from being from the way it is to be able to get satisfaction. Just by being what it is. So also is what it is. When we want to extend ourselves, when we want to reach out to be more, or rather to extend ourselves either through business or through any other means of expanding yourself, relationships, you don't need to, it does not have to be with struggle or fight. It has to be seamless. So those are the transformations. If you are able to go through these 4 transformations, one of the things I can assure you guys is you will just be looking at uncertainty and you will not even know it's around. For some of us, some of us have not known that COVID-19 exists, because as I'm talking to you guys like this is how I work. All right. I don't even have an office bill that I'm paying. Everybody comes to work in my home office because I found out that the most experienced people, or the topmost people in the world, they work from their house. All right. Kings and queens and presidents, they work from their houses. So this is what I do. All right. This is where I'm working from. And then, I have most of my meetings here. So it's not changed. We still get paid. We are still making money, because you see, the truth is who we are, not about what COVID-19 does.
Hey, I think if you don't mind, if you're still live watching this great man, please can you just say something on the comment? I'd like you to just share your experience on the comment. He can't do this for 60 minutes. Definitely, he shared some amazing insight, but I feel that one of the things you can do is to quickly get into his coaching session. I'm going to give him access to talk about his coaching session and some of the trainings you can get to do online. I'm sure that he has all of that in place. So he's going to really talk about it, but don't forget that in case Instagram log us off, you should just reconnect immediately, because I have Elisha Mama, I have Ape Harrison already, and they are coming in immediately. So, like I said, it's not an interview question. It is get inspired. You want to fire up your spirit, man. You want to learn. You want to gain more knowledge. You want to tax your brain so that I can give you the gain you need in life. And the only way you can tax your brain to give you what you need in life is for you to hear people who are doing stuff, who have an understanding about clarity about where they're going, about what they want to do. And that's why we are bringing these three, we have brought these three great guys together on this platform. I think it would be nice for you to share. I think it would be nice for you to share your social media. I have so many people listening to you simultaneously as we talk on this platform. So I'd like you to please do us 2 things. I've told you guys, one of the things you can do is I will share the note. This video is going to come up live. As we finish, it's going to be live on my page. So at Sam Speaks Now, you can follow me. And most importantly, I think that David Babale's handle is on the screen already, David Babale. So what offer? I think it would be nice for you, even if it's 1 or 2 persons you want to help. It's not, so one of the things we're trying to do is that it's not just you helping us with this pointer within 60 minutes, for helping somebody here who is ready to work with you, who is ready to have you as a coach. So do you have something like a package or an offer that you can give people watching currently?
So right now, if you go to my bio on Instagram, you would be able to see, so just you click it, you will see a couple of links. Just go there. There's one that speaks a lot about our coaching programs. It gives you an overview of it. And then if you also reach out to us personally, one of the things I do as a matter of personal principle is to be able to give people a kind of teaser. I do what I call a complimentary session. Somebody says to me, but is it not just a waste of your time? I said, you know what, there is at Jessara, there's more from where that came from. I can tell you everything, all right? And I can tell you everything, and you will still come, and there's still more that will still flow. We are an unending stream, not because we are everything in ourselves, all right? But if you go to my bio right now on Instagram, you would be able to see that. And on my page, every now and then, I throw valuable content valuable things that can help you to be a better person in life.
Okay, guys, because I'm really watching the time. This is a 3-course meal. We are going. We just finished the first course meal. We are going to the second course meal. Ape Harrison is going to be helping us understand the aspects of business. How can we ensure that we make money from what we're doing, from our passion, from opportunities that we have around us? He's an amazing guy. But before I go, don't forget you have to follow David Babale on his bio. You should check it and see opportunities that he's going to give. So if you mention your name or you send a DM to him, I'm sure that he's going to give you an offer. Just mention Olatunde Samson or that you join Get Inspired and God. He doesn't do free things. It doesn't do free things, guys. So let's get this straight. Don't ask for anything free. You should ensure that you pay what you pay for. You definitely want to utilize it. He has the capacity to help you understand your goals, your plans, how you can achieve so much in life. You have 7 months ahead. You can achieve so much in 7 months. And that's why we have decided to bring these wonderful people together. They're my very good friend. I've learned a lot from them. I'm still learning them. I mean, he's my first mentor when it gets to clarity. The next person coming on board now, I'm sure he's ready to give us another dimension. Get ready for the second course meal. In case you don't mind, you click on the link on my bio, you get into the Telegram group every Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are going to be empowering a lot of people with all sort of information that will help you. So you have this happen every Saturday. And then on Sunday, you have 90 minutes with the CEOs, and where I'm going to be having my Instagram class or my Telegram class. Anyone that comes to mind, we're going to have it. So the only way you can get information around this is for you to get into the Telegram group. So if you want to get into the Telegram group, click on the link you have on my bio, and then you have access to the notes, and this video is going to go live. Don't forget also, one more time I repeat, David Babale is his handle. This is time for you to follow now. Send him a DM right away. Ask for a support of what you want him to do. He doesn't do anything for free. He's got family. He has a lot of bills he needs to pay. So please don't ask for anything free. Make sure you pay for it. And I believe that we're going to get your feedback. One of the things you can do now is please drop on the comment session what you have learned so far. Say something to David Babale before he goes finally. Just say something to him. You want to ask question, drop your question. He's going to capture it. Anything you want to say now, in another 2 minutes before we get in our next guest, you can do that. Please, 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 everyone, would like you to say something on the comment section. I'd like to hear from you. I mean, so let me just read what somebody said now. Thank you, David Babale, for amazing time. That's from Elizabeth. I greet you, sir. I am a proof of your magic. Oh my. So you've got a vision with more magic, talking about that, and then I'm trying to read what some of the people have said. Oh, thanks, Mr. Babale. It's been very awesome and mind-blowing listening to you again this evening. I got to know I am me, and nothing changes that. You are blessed, sir. Oh, God. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Agar, thank you for sharing. Very, very enlightening. Rama, thank you for sharing. I want to say a big thank you to every one of you. Don't forget that what you can do is that you get the notes of this session on the Telegram group. David Babale is the handle you need to follow. Send him a DM. I'll click on his bio. You have information that will help you understand what you need to do. I want to say a very big thank you, my good friend, David Babale. Thank you for the clarity you have given many people who has done this conversation. I want to say a big thank you. You know, I don't have the capacity. Your boy doesn't have the capacity, but your boy will definitely be loyal to you at any time. It's good to have you on this platform. Thank you so much. Guys,
can I finally say something to you guys?
Yeah, you can go on. Yeah.
Owning your story and loving yourself through that process is the bravest thing you would ever do. Own your story and love yourself through the process is the bravest thing you can ever do.
Wow. Thank you so much for this sign out. Guys, yes, I'd like you to get in back. We are going to the second meal for today. It's a back-to-back teaching. And I'm going to be having Ape Harrison coming on board to show us some insights about the paradigm of thinking, the thinking of now. What do you need to think about and how do you need to navigate in times like this? concerning your business. So let me just switch, and then I have in another 2 minutes, I'm going to be having Ape Harrison joining this conversation. Thank you so much, David Babale.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.